Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. You know what? I decided to go a little bit different. This is the Oregon coast. Come visit us. Come visit us out here at the HQ. That's Cannon Beach. Come on down to the Oregon coast, mixing it up a little bit. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and talk about the Pacific Northwest. We're here for Meet an Indie Agency. Let's meet an indie agency. And we go, I forgot to ask where everybody's based. Mythology. Nobody. Go ahead and tell me what's going on.
We're in gray little boxes in New York City.
That's okay. That's what I thought. Okay. I just want to make sure. I knew it was out east. In the city, which is always fun. Where are more of the agencies concentrated? Because there's like a ton in Brooklyn, right? There's some good indies in Brooklyn. And then it seemed like everybody was moving down to the financial district.
Yeah, there were a few good ones that popped down there. It kind of feels like whatever's opportunistically, like it's a little extra space, rents are a little cheaper.
Yeah.
A little gold rush, and then people are like, fuck this neighborhood, let's go somewhere else. We've been in NoHo since.
You've been in NoHo. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I love it there.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, let's start with the agency background. Give us a little bit of the story of Mythology.
Sure. And before, did we lose Audrey? Did we lose?
She'll come back. It's fine. She'll come back. Yeah, we'll get her back. But okay. you continue. We'll get Audrey back.
We started almost 17 years ago. We were originally called Partners in Spade. I had started the business with Andy Spade. We had a storefront in Great Jones. We had a little agency behind the storefront, which was charming for the first few weeks and then really annoying for the rest of the time we were there, because we literally operated a store as we were holding meetings. So that charm wore off pretty quick. And then it was about 6 years ago, Andy and I split ways. And I kept the clients and all the team. We're about 50 people, and we renamed it Mythology.
Okay.
So that's
doing stuff like that. That's like having a B&B and there's Audrey spinning. There she is. And I'm like messing up all the controls on this. So everybody gets
like every creative presentation ever, right?
I know, right? Oh my God. So funny, Sophie. Oh my God. So good. So good. So as Audrey spins in space, let me ask this, agencies and indies in particular do a lot of great things, but it's always good to talk about, and we're going to hide Audrey for a second. It's always good to understand what you believe the industry thinks your agency is best known for. And also additionally, what you would say the top 3 core strengths are. Again, agency's very good at a lot of things, but usually a few things rise to the top. So what would you say you're best known for and your top 3 core strengths?
Well, I'm going to say something and I'll pass it to Soph. We are known for building brands. So beyond just what we do in advertising or what a typical agency does, we've created over 75 brands, and we've done a lot of those for venture-backed founders. So Harry's Shave Company, or the mirror that sold to Lululemon, Warby Parker, we helped them in their first year of existence. And Sophie is head of design. For us, that isn't just an agency that happens to have a design department. It is part and parcel to like what we do. Like, so when we go and are hired by a CMO for whatever we're hired for, like how that brand comes to life, especially visually, is incredibly important to us. So we're really lucky to have someone like Sophie on the team.
I now remember the Warby Parker stuff. It's all coming back to me. Yeah. I had mentioned before we got going that I've been around a minute. So no, I do remember that. Oh my goodness. Sophie, please continue.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're obviously known for building brands. I think, there are a lot of graphic design shops that do identity work. And I think we approach things more holistically. So we don't just sort of do a logo. We really focus on building what we call brand worlds. So we always have a hand in like the art direction, the naming, the strategy, and try to do things in a really sort of 360, it's kind of an annoying term, but manner. And I think people appreciate that because we go really deep and it isn't just this kind of, one single facet of a brand, which is the visual identity, for example. So
right.
I think, we definitely always over deliver, which like maybe is a double-edged sword, but I think people respect that. And that's something that we're definitely known for. And that's why we have these sort of long-term relationships.
Yeah. And I like this idea of brand worlds. And I think that the idea of that gives it energy, gives it momentum, and it gives it life for sure. I really like that perspective because you can turn back and you can point to that, because just taking the Warby Parker example, you created something that really became a world and became more than a brand. It became an obsession for people and deep amounts of love, which is great. You had mentioned before, again, some of our off-camera conversations. And are you guys in the same building right now? Can Audrey come in? Is she coming in, or
Audrey? I just got a text. Audrey's internet is crashing. She's got some real Wi-Fi issues or whatever is going on.
No, put a quarter in the machine. It'll work. Here, hold on. Let's see. There she is. Put a quarter in. Put a quarter in that thing.
This is like a game show now.
Let's talk about Spectrum in the Lower East Side. Okay. Sorry.
All right.
Internet.
No, that's all right. Okay. All of you, thanks for joining us. We're out of time, but no. Okay. You know what, Audrey? I'm going to throw you in the fire on this one.
All right. Let's do it.
Why is it so important to be independent? Why is it important for you? Why is it important for the agency? And then we'll do a little spin around.
I think for me, having had the experience of working at both types of agencies, we are allowed to be more creative. I think that's probably the common answer, is that we get to pick and choose what we do, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. It just gives us a lot more creative freedom and a lot more freedom with our business decisions. And I think that's been, for me, the real upside.
Oh, absolutely. Soph, your thoughts on independence?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we don't answer to the man in the same way.
Well, you do have Anthony.
That's true. We obviously answer to our clients, but I think we have more control. And I think that control is kind of invaluable because, I guess I'm just echoing Audrey's point, but we're project-based. We get to decide what we do want to do and what we don't want to do. And so we don't end up in these, kind of forced relationships that everybody finds exhausting, and that doesn't always create great work.
This is a discussion for another time, but I am a huge proponent of do the chemistry session first and then worry about the rest later. Anthony, your thoughts on being independent, and what I'd like you to do is then go into this next thought of why and what the main reason a brand should work with Mythology. You've touched on a few things, but first talk about independence, and then let's talk a little bit about the main reason a brand should work with the agency.
It's funny because I grew up in advertising, worked at Wyden in a few different offices, worked at Chiat.
Were you in Portland?
Portland in 96 and 97.
Oh, I was there. The old Deacon building. I wasn't at Wyden. Oh, I had a shitty interview there, but please continue.
The old Deacon building, and then London in 99. And, call it like, the best template for what an independent creative agency, could look and feel like, especially in that golden era. And for me, the best thing about being independent is being able to say no. Like, I don't have to have a reason to say no to something. I don't have to explain. I don't have to answer to anyone else. If I get in that chemistry meeting and I'm like, I just don't see a pathway for us to have like a fruitful, trusting relationship. My gut is telling me this is not going to work. I could say thanks, but no thanks. We're probably not the right fit. And that to me is worth whatever else we're giving up for being independent. That value, I think, does basically translate to us being able to, when we do engage on something, and maybe this starts to answer the question of why someone should work with us, is like, we fucking love what we do. And when we know we're the right fit for something, we will chew through metal to get it the way it needs to be. And like, it doesn't mean that every time we're up to bat, it's like a home run, but it does mean like we can honestly say any of these projects that come in here, we are putting ourselves in it. And it's funny, last year, I think it was last year, we worked on a smaller project. It was more branding than advertising. And I didn't, the first presentation we gave didn't like round the corner. The client wasn't really happy. And so we were going to start talking about what the second presentation was going to look like. And I was like, you know what, honestly, I don't think this is a good fit. Not your fault, not our fault. We're probably just seeing this differently. We're going to wire your money back, and I will help you find someone else to do this. And to this day, it's been like over almost a year since that happened. I still get emails from those guys being like, that was our favorite interaction that we've had yet. That basically being
that's cool.
Here. Yeah. And that to me is like does not happen when you're not independent. Like it just can't.
Right. No. And I think what I appreciate too is this idea of service. I love that. I love that, and my last name doesn't necessarily reflect it. But three of us here are Italian. That feels like a very Italian trait. It's like, this ain't going to work out, but I know a guy. Audrey, sorry.
Hey, I'm French.
He's French.
Oh, Okay. So yeah, d'accord.
She's just putting the cigarette out.
C'est bon, c'est Audrey Attal. Oh,
exact.
Magnifique. Exactement.
Wow,
à France
really
ou à
French.
Canada? Au Canada.
France.
À quelle ville?
Paris.
Oh, oui, vraiment. Okay. And I like the chewing through metal thing, the analogy there, Anthony, because I've been on Paxlovid for the past few days, and all I'm tasting is metal.
I thought about that when he said that.
Yeah,
my only story, the way we're selling ourselves is by saying how we fire clients, but I guess that is our favorite.
You actually no. And what I love about that story, though, I love this idea because it doesn't help anybody. It's such common sense where it's like, yeah, you really want this business, but if you can see that it's like, this is just not going to work, then it just makes so much sense to say, you know what, you're absolutely right. It's not us. It's not you. It's the way this is working, but I know several people who can make this work for you in the way that you're approaching it. And so, no, I think that's great. And you're doing such a great service to brands for that. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. Let's talk about talent. Nous commençons avec Audrey. Why should talent be putting Mythology on their list?
I think that it's exactly what we were just talking about too, with what's the upside of being independent, the upside of being project based, which is, for me, there's not only the variety of the work that we do, because we're not, the agency that does this client. We get to do so much different stuff in different categories, with small clients that are really cool, and with bigger clients and startups and legacy brands. So that, to me, that's the book builder. But it's not just that. The project-based idea, whenever we engage, we're going to make something. And I think that's been really, really big for me as somebody who's been at big agencies where there's just a lot of deck making. I feel years, I've spent years making decks of ideas that never saw the light of day. So many decks. And for a while I thought, okay, advertising is just making decks. I don't know if I'm going to do this anymore.
Oh my God.
And this place really reinstated my faith in the fact that no, this is a business where we make things. And that's what we want as creatives, is to be able to make things. We're not in it for, making decks that justify the retainer. We're actually making work. When we engage in something's going to get made. And to me, that's the biggest selling point for talent. That's been the biggest reason I've stuck around.
So I will say the funny thing, I had to give a best man speech to someone who's also a creative director in the advertising world. And I kind of fell back and my speech was basically a deck. I couldn't.
Oh, that's different. That's different.
But I was like, this is the only way I know how to like have a little bit of charm and have it organized. So I basically presented a duck to his wedding party.
Audrey, no, I like that. In Q3, this marriage in Q3 in the first year. Audrey, let me put your arm up. Let's look at your ink.
Oh,
No,
other one.
Yeah. Tell us about your ink.
Oh, I only have bad tattoos that have been. That's I got them. I got them all when I was way too young. This one's actually one of the ones I got later on, but it's still terrible. And it looks like it says pizza. Everybody thinks it says pizza. It in fact says Lazarus, and it's the name of my pit bull, who passed away in 2018. So there you go.
No, baby boy. Oh.
Baby boy, yeah. But yeah, so it's just one of my my terrible tattoos. Only have bad ones. I have no love for good tattoos. Not for me.
So
all right. Do you have tattoos?
I have a bunch of shitty tattoos too.
Wait, what do you do?
I said I also have a bunch of shitty tattoos.
So what are they?
We can classify them all as mistakes. I think that's fair.
No further questions, Anthony?
No. Somehow I had plenty of bad ideas and a couple I came really close to that I am so fucking thankful I just did not.
And let me guess, a few of those happened in the Deacon building while you were in Portland.
Actually,
yeah, there had to be. This is like the Tattoo City. There had to be.
You know what's funny? That was just when Portland was, because this was way back then. Like
I moved there in '92, so I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely was running rampant. I think it was when I came back to New York after that first stint in Wyden. I was like, I had some really bad tattoo ideas. I was gonna be so fucking cool, and there was no excuse. At least you guys got them when you were like growing up in New York, when you were teenagers. Like, of course.
Yeah,
I was.
That's when you make mistakes growing up in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up, Anthony?
I grew up in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Plenty of mistakes. There's no shortage of mistakes in Buffalo, but
right.
So,
but getting tattoos on 23rd Street was not one of them.
No.
Astor Place.
Oh my God.
23rd Street.
23rd Street. That's where my brother lives. That's class.
And I think St. Mark's was another location.
Oh no,
that Astor Place.
Yeah, that I definitely that tracks. Oh my Lord, I have a fleur-de-lis on my hip. That's
wow.
It's not visible.
Very French of you.
Well, it was for my fraternity. That was our thing. So, and I wasn't even drunk or high when I got it, which was great. Moving on. The way we end this thing, and this is I love this because this is a little bit of a thought experiment. And again, going back to this amazing roster of brands and clients that you've worked with and continue to work with, whether they're a client or not, who's a CMO or marketer you want to give a shout out to or say hello to? Who wants to take that one first?
Audrey?
Oh, sure.
Audrey. because of your shitty Wi-Fi, you get this.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually good now. It seems like I've stayed on.
Yeah.
I would say hi to the CMO of Kraft Heinz. I think
Todd Kaplan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think, first of all, so many brands to play with. I always love working on food. And I think just like these iconic brands, some of them that are just doing great work, other ones where we haven't seen as much work. And I think this is just a lot of fun to be had. I really want to see what the Kool-Aid guy is like in 2024.
So solid.
So, just a lot of fun brands there to do a lot of fun stuff with and yeah.
Okay. All right. Soph?
I really unabashedly love Goop.
Like
very
the Gwyneth Paltrow one, or the thing you get? Do you think you get at Ace Hardware that takes all that stuff off? Okay,
Only the Gwyneth Paltrow one. It's very divisive.
Sure.
But I have totally been following it since she had her newsletter, and I just, I totally drink the Kool-Aid, to riff on the Kool-Aid guy. So, they have a new CMO, relatively new. She was at Google. Her name is Lauren Johnston. I'd probably shout her out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go from Google to Goop. There you go.
Exactly. G to G.
Yeah. Go to go. All right. I like
Goo
that
to
one.
goo.
Yeah. Anthony?
It's a good question. My answer is going to not be as fun as Audrey's, but I would want to meet, I think Rivian has a new CMO, and I love that they are making Elon Musk look super, super silly when it comes to cars.
I think Elon's doing a good job on his own, but please continue.
The cars look so fucking good, and it's everything that Tesla should be by now, and has just not. And just as a lover of design, I feel like those cars are actually really beautifully designed.
Yeah.
I would be really intrigued to see what we could do. Not that they need our help. I think they're doing plenty of a fine job, but
Polestar is another one too, out of Sweden. I mean, I think those. I rode in a Polestar for the first time.
How was that?
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was really. It felt sturdy. It's like whenever I've ridden in a Tesla, I feel like I'm riding in a tin can a little bit. And this Polestar is the real deal. Absolutely the real deal. Oh yeah.
We worked with Tesla for over a year and a half on a retail.
That's
project.
before he took the blue pill.
Before he. Well, I guess the red pill.
Whatever. It's
the red.
It was the red pill. My bad.
He definitely took the red one.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got it backwards. Sorry.
And in a year and a half.
Bad Gen Xer. Please continue.
Yeah, we had a year and a half's worth of work. Literally die in 4 minutes to a presentation to Elon on a private jet from one city to another, and he just looked at us like, no, that's not what I want to do, and it all evaporated. So part of it's maybe a little bit of revenge. I don't know.
No, it's not revenge. No, it's we were raised Catholic. It's fine.
Were Catholics like revenge? The Inquisition?
Yeah, we do like revenge actually. Audrey, what's that noise in the background? Come on, you can't hide it.
It's a baby.
Good. All right.
Very little baby.
All right.
It's a 2-month-old baby. Yeah.
Oh my! Go get the baby. Show us the baby.
Show us the baby.
You gotta see the baby. You gotta see the baby.
Can't bring her over.
That's a great Seinfeld. What's her name?
She's coming over. Romy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
She's fiercely independent as well.
She is very independent. She's refused to sleep.
Oh, I have a 12-year-old and
What?
oh, quel petit mignon. Oh, salut. All right, that's a first.
She screams in French.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, that's you can't follow that. Oh my God, so good. Well, Soph, Audrey, Anthony, this was a blast. Looking forward to doing a hell of a lot more with all of you. Thank you again for your support of Indie Agency News. Best wishes for continued success, and we'll catch up soon.
Feel better, Doug.